Hello, everybody. This is Coach MJ, the coaching connoisseur, and I want to welcome you to our training broadcast for today. So I'm coming on kind of late in my time zone to try to accommodate some of my West Coast people who may want to catch me while I'm live, and people in other time zones and even in other countries as well. So that's why I'm on so late. But I want to come on and talk about today's topic, which is going to be probably controversial. Some people are going to get offended. I might even get some emails about this one. People aren't going to like it. Going to step on some toes, going to rub folk the wrong way. And that's okay, because I want you to succeed. I want you to have everything that you need to build the business of your dreams. And sometimes that comes at a price. Sometimes we have to have uncomfortable conversations, but that's why I'm here, to guide you to the truth of your situation so that you can do something about it. Today is the third installment in our game show series, and this one's called Family Feud. And why do I call it Family Feud? Because we're going to be talking about why your clan cannot say no to your dream. So when I say clan, I'm talking about the people you're related to. I'm talking about your siblings, your parents, aunts and uncles, even cousins, your children, and yes, even your spouse or significant others that you share a life with, you may share a home with. And what do I mean by saying no to your dream? There are those of you out there who have wanted to start a business for a long time. You've wanted to be full-time self-employed for a long time. You've wanted to go out on your own. You've wanted to become a coach. But the people in your life, your family, your loved ones have in various ways told you no. They've either flat out said, no, this is not the right time. We can't take a chance on that. What if it doesn't work out? This is not a good thing. A lot of times this will come from our significant others and from our spouses. Or it could be just other family members who tend to rain on your parade. They shoot things down. And based on your dynamic with them through the years, they have a lot of sway or influence on whether you will move forward with something. If they don't buy in, then you may or may not do whatever the thing is. And so you've wanted to start a business, and you're even watching this video because you're trying to figure out some kind of way that you can move forward when your clan, your family is against you. And you know it could start a feud. You could actually have a family feud if you went forward without their buy-in. And so you wonder, how do people get the courage or get the whatever they need to move ahead anyway, despite what their family is saying? And I understand everybody has a different family dynamic. Coach MJ, I am not married right now. I am not married, so my decisions are my own. And even when I was married, my decisions were my own. I can hear some of you saying that's probably why you're not married. But anyway, I'm not married, so I can't relate today to what it's like to be married or to be in a family unit that has a lot of influence on what you do or don't do. I have a very small nuclear family, and while we may have opinions about what one another does, we ultimately let each other live our lives. So I know that there are different types of families out there where the things I talk about today can be easier or more difficult to implement. And if you are watching this video and you were pulled to it by the name of the video, then you're probably in one of those families where it's more challenging to go against the grain. So we're going to address that, because the bottom line is you're here because you can't let it go. You're here because it's calling on your life. You're here because you want more. You're here because you're tired of being stuck where you are in your cubicle prison. You are here because you know that there's something more out for you to do. You're out there for you to do. You're tired of living beneath your potential. You're tired of always coming up short and feeling unfulfilled and unappreciated, underpaid, overworked, and all those things. And you want more out of life. You know you're only going to be here if you live as long as most people, several decades, and half of those, if you're in my age group, half of them are gone, right? And so you want to have this life, so you're looking for any way. And the first thing I want to say is the reason why your family can't say no to your dream. And what I mean by can't is that they don't have a say. They should not have a say. Now, they can try to say it, but whether you let it land and impact your plans is what I mean by can't. They do not have your vision or your assignment. What you see in the future, they don't see. Your assignment that you know you were put here to do, your purpose, is not their purpose. And so they don't have the right to speak on whether you can pursue it. And here's what I mean by that. They might not even be trying to tell you you can't do it. They may be saying you can't do it this certain way. Well, you can do it if you don't have to spend any money on it. You can do it if it's guaranteed to succeed. You can do it if it only takes 5 hours a week. They're trying to dictate how you do it, right? So that's the same thing as saying whether you can or cannot do it. But they don't have your vision. They don't see what you see, and it's not on their heart, it's on your heart. And I'm sorry, but even in a family unit, you are an individual. You have the right to have dreams and goals and desires and interests that go outside of what the rest of them are saying. And I am talking about spouses as well. And this is where it's going to get controversial, but that's okay. Hang on in there with me. Spouses, even though you are joined together as a unit, you may consider yourself as one and things of that nature, does not mean you have to think as one person. In your operating in life, yes, you move as a unit, but that does not mean that your individuality is gone. And if you're in a situation where you feel like your individuality has been taken away from you, I'm going to say that's very unfortunate. And there's probably some steps that need to be taken outside of this video to help you break free of that. Not necessarily break free of the relationship, but certainly break free of the idea that you can't pursue a business or a dream of self-employment because they don't want you to do it. They don't have your assignment. And when you go to your grave, they are not going to be the one regretting the road not taken for you. You'll be regretting that. The things you're meant to do, only you can do them. The books you're meant to write, the people you're meant to coach, the places you're meant to travel to, only you can do those things. The stages you're meant to speak on, the people whose lives you are meant to inspire and impact, only you can do that. And you feel that within you. That's why you want to become a high ticket coach. You can't let your family say no to that. They don't have the right to say no to what is on your heart. And the thing is, people tend to judge what you do or what you want to do based on their own fears and limitations, or based on their preconceived notions about you. So they've known you all your life. If it's your parents, if it's your siblings, they've known you your whole life. And they decided at some point that you were only supposed to go this far, this high. This is what you're capable of. And they want to keep you there. And again, I'm not painting all families as these wicked people that are just trying to hold you back. They don't even realize sometimes that they're doing this. But we're just talking about what is true and what you can do about it. So they're based it on their own fears. They're afraid to go out on their own, to start their own business. They've told themselves no. They've turned their back on their dream. And so when you are talking about yours, they answer you not based on your courage and your strength and how you show up in the world. They base it on them. And so they say no because they get afraid. Oh man, I wouldn't want to do that. That's a clue right there. Is if you say, well, what do you think this is a good idea? And they say to you, I wouldn't do that. Or something about meaning from their perspective, because you didn't ask them, do they want to do it? You asked what they think about you doing it. That they respond from they're responding from their fears, their limitations. I can't do it. You a good one. I can't do that. Okay, but I didn't ask you to do it. I'm doing it. And I just want you to encourage me. Maybe that's why you're getting their opinion on it. They base it on their fears, their limitations, or their notions about you and what you're capable of. Who does she think she is? She's a teen mom. How dare her think now she's going to be a millionaire? She going to coach other people. Or, she didn't even finish college. Who she thinks she is? Families do this. We love our families, but we're not going to look at it through rose-colored glasses and act like these are not conversations that also happen within families, either verbally or within inside people's minds. And so they tend to judge it based on things that are unfair. The other thing is why your clan cannot say no to your dream. They don't have the right, is because what's true is that when you start evolving, when you start branching out into something new, it scares other people, especially people, or I would say mainly people who aren't pursuing their dreams. Most people had dreams when they were a kid, unless they had an extremely toxic or oppressive childhood. They all had dreams of doing something. Those dreams got taken away from them. Usually it happened sometime in school, middle school, high school, maybe even as early as elementary school. They were taught to shut up, sit down, especially girls. especially Black girls, right? Us. Our voice is taken away. Our dreams are taken away. At some point, we are told to be cute. We're told to be quiet. We're told to not rock the boat. All of these narratives are put on us. And so when you finally in your 30s and 40s and 50s, maybe you are, start to say, you know what, life is passing me by and I still want to do that thing. I still want to help and inspire other people. I have a story to tell. I have information and knowledge that I can use to help other people. It scares all those people who've given up on their dream, whose voices were muted, right? Whose dreams were shattered by other people doing to them what they're now trying to do to you. So you can't let a person who has turned their back on their dream make you turn your back on yours. Will it be some uncomfortable conversations? Yes. Might they be mad at you? And that would be the weirdest thing. Someone mad at you because you're pursuing your dream. But again, it accuses other people when you step out and you ignore all the excuses and you do it anyway. It accuses them because it says to them without saying it that I also should be following my dreams and I don't have any excuses. Crabs in a barrel, right? In your family, they may want to keep you in there because they want things to stay the same. They know how to deal with you when you're baby sister or when you're, aunt so-and-so, and they have this label on you of how you are and who you are and what you're capable of. They don't want that to change because then they have to deal with you differently. Now you're talking differently. The more I evolve in my mind, the more I evolve physically, the more I evolve spiritually, the more I talk different. I talk different. People have to respond to you differently when you're giving out something. People don't want to change. All of this is why they are trying to stop you and why you can't let them stop you, because you're the one that's got to live this life. You only get one of them. You got to live this life. Now, think about it. Let me throw this in there. Remember that you got your job, or maybe you decided to go to college or back to school without their cosign. There's some things you've done that are pretty major that they didn't cosign on, or maybe they did, but you said, I'm doing it anyway. Let your coaching business be that way as well. Because the bottom line is you're only passing this way one time. The message on your heart, the knowledge, the expertise you've been blessed with to share with others, the lifestyle that you're meant to live and build because you can see it. Therefore, if you can see it, you're meant to have it. That's not going to go away. And other people don't have the right to talk you out of that. Now, here's where the really controversial part may come in. I'm not just talking about siblings and parents. I'm also talking about your spouse. The same things I just described, a person you're married to can be doing that. And again, they may be doing it from a place of love. I'm not just talking about emotional abuse and that type of thing. I'm talking about they don't want to see you get hurt. They don't want to see you disappointed. They don't want to see you fail. They don't want you to spend the money and then it not work out. You're not getting rich overnight. And they don't want to have that to deal with that. Maybe they are a job type of person in here. And so the risks of entrepreneurship, they are vehemently opposed to taking those. And you share money with this person, and you share a household with this person, and you share hopefully a future with this person. So what do you do in those situations? Well, you first have to accept the fact that everybody is not always going to co-sign everything you do. And that has to be okay. A lot of time the friction comes when you're trying to convince the other person to get on board. You really don't need your spouse to co-sign you starting a coaching business. You do not. There are some crucial conversations and some uncomfortable conversations you may have to have, and you may have to have them more than one time, but they don't necessarily have to co-sign it as long as they are not actively blocking you and doing certain things to keep you from doing it. There's nothing that says that they have to actually agree with you. But we all know that to start a business, you need capital. You need to invest in a business. You need to invest in mentoring. You need to invest in knowing what you're doing, investing in advertising, investing in systems, and these other things to be successful. Before we get into that, the first thing you need to do with a spouse or with somebody else that's super close to you is talk to them about your intentions in advance, okay? So right now, start laying the groundwork that this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. I hope you can support me, as opposed to going to them with a, can I do it? And I get it. I can hear the wives talking right now. You're saying, yeah, but that's how you keep your marriage together. You want to show respect to each other. And I get that. That's absolutely true. But respecting somebody and asking their permission to do something when you're an adult is not necessarily the same thing. You can say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to still honor our relationship and the things we're doing together. But this is what I'll be doing with my spare time, because this means a lot to me. I hope you can support me. Support me with my time. Support me with helping with the kids, or whatever that looks like. But it's a different energy saying, can I do this? And if you say no, I'm going to turn my back on my dream again and die a little bit more on the inside. It's different from saying, I'm going to do it and I'm going to keep the peace as much as I can. But this is the calling on my life. See, the people I'm talking to right now, I'm talking to those of you who every day at work is a nightmare, not only because of the environment, but because you know you're not meant to be there. There is nothing worse than being out of place. There's nothing worse than knowing you're supposed to be doing something else and you're not doing it. Every day is a nightmare. Every day is hell. And you know that if you continue like that, your emotional and mental well-being are not going to do well. This is life or death for you. This is not the time to let your loved ones stop you. You may have to work around them. I was watching one of my favorite motivational speakers, Lisa Nichols, talking about how her family and different ones in her life kind of gave her a hard time. And she just went on for years as she was pursuing what she does now. Now she's a millionaire. I bet all of them exhibited. But in the early days, in the early months and years, they were running it. But guess what? She didn't let that stop her. And that's the difference between those that will be in the top 1% of earners in this country and whose message will be out in the world, and those who won't. Most people will die with a message on their heart, a work on their heart, a book, a song, a movie, a coaching business, whatever that is you're supposed to do. Most people will die with that on their heart. I don't want that for you, though. But you can't let other people not wanting to be you to do it to stop you from doing it. And that includes a spouse. So you're going to talk to them about your intentions in advance. So it doesn't come out of nowhere. From the moment that you say, you know what, I'm drawing a line in the sand, I'm going to find a way. Let them know and start having the conversation so they can at least get used to the discomfort. Eventually they'll be on board, because I've never seen a spouse complain when their mate is making 5 or 6 figures a month on the side, and they, before they even quit their job, 6-7 figures after that. Nobody ever complains at that point, but that doesn't happen overnight. You have to start somewhere. But let them know what you want to do. And then when it comes to money, because that's often the big one, that's where a lot of people say, I got to ask my husband if I can invest in my business. Now, some of my clients, and I salute these women, they were married in good marriages, and they still chose to move forward with their dream without having to ask permission. Probably they'd already been having the conversations, but they said, this is my life. This is my money. This is my 401k. This is my savings. This is my credit. I'm going to go ahead and do this thing. But let them know that if I can't use our shared funds to fund my business, I'm going to find other ways to do it. That's the difference between a loser and a winner. The ones that will find a way. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be the first idea. You might want to use savings, but your spouse says, well, we can't use our savings. Don't let that stop you. There's almost 8 billion people on this planet. It's not that hard to find money. Your money is out there. So go find it. Maybe it is in a retirement fund. Maybe it is a loan. Maybe it is a credit card. Maybe it is some type of investment. Maybe it is some things you need to sell off so that you can have your dream. Whatever those things are that you have to do to get resourceful, just let them know in your family, I'm going to do these things so that it doesn't directly impact you, at least financially in this example, but I'm still going to move forward and do this thing because I have to. When you, as Eric Thomas said, when you want the thing you want as bad as you want your next breath, like if you were underwater and you couldn't breathe, and you would have something being held over your face and you couldn't breathe, as bad as you want your next breath, when you want your dream that bad, you won't let anything stop you. And that includes your family. Your clan does not have the right to tell you no. And here's the one last thing I'm going to add. Don't share your dream with anybody who cannot directly help you get there. And that includes family. When I say help, I mean tell you how to do it. And if they don't already have that kind of business, they can't tell you, who is not going to invest financially in it. or who is not going to directly support you in ways such as, let's say, babysitting the kids while you handle meetings or things of that nature. If they are not going to help you get your dream, they don't even need to know what you're doing. There are dream stealers out there. And many of them share our last names. They share our parentage. They share our house, whatever that is. This is real talk today. Because a lot of you ladies out there, you are married or you are in a tight-knit family and you are used to needing or feeling like you needed a co-signer on your dream, and that's why you're still stuck. I want you to get unstuck in 2022. I want you to get unstuck early in 2022 where we are right now. You can have that, but you've got to decide for yourself what you want more. The approval of people who have their own journey to go on. Because even when we're going down the path of life with other people beside us, we're still on an individual journey. You were born alone as an individual, and you will die as an individual, right? And so you have to be willing to do some things that other people are not co-signing on. That has to be okay. And I know that you do need support, especially if you have a family situation where it's not as supportive. And so that's why it's important to have a community. It's important to have support. It's important to have accountability from an expert who can walk you down that journey, even when your family may or may not want you to go down that road. So I want to invite you to grab a spot in my next free workshop. It's called Monetize Your Magic, 5 Moves from 9 to 5 Grind to World Traveling Coach. There's one coming up in just a few days. I think it's on Sunday. And we're going to be talking about 5 things you need to do to get yourself prepared to head. Well, it's going to be the first step or the first 5 steps of your journey towards that 6 or 7 figure coaching empire that you are going to build using your expertise, using what you're good at right now. We're going to talk about the things you need to do mentally, things you need to do financially, things you need to do logistically to set yourself up for the most success in your business. You can do this. I get so excited every time I think about the possibilities that are endless for you in what you want to do, using what you're already good at. But you need to start down the journey, and you don't need to ask anybody's permission. You just need to reserve your spot in the workshop at buildwealthwhileyoutravel.com/live. It's going to be a live workshop. I'm going to be there presenting, and we're going to go through these insider secrets that people don't know about. Everybody just wants to build a website and wait for the clients to come in by word of mouth. That's not how you build really any kind of business. Certainly not a coaching business. Certainly not one that's going to free you to travel the world and give you total independence of time and of your money. You don't start them that way. You have to do other things first. You have to lay the groundwork the right way. And this workshop is going to be the first steps towards that. So again, jump over to buildwealthwhileyoutravel.com/live to get your seat. It's a free workshop. It's complimentary, no cost attached to it. But we're going to be going in. So you're going to want to make sure you mark your calendar so you don't miss it. And you want to make sure you bring a notepad. There will be a participant workbook sent to you as well that you can use as we're going through. It's about 60 minutes long. But it's going to be the most powerful time you've ever spent pursuing this dream. Your clan, your family cannot say no to your dream. The only person that can really say no to your dream is you. And I hope that you're going to say yes instead of no, because you deserve it. And the world is waiting for you to share your gifts. buildwealthwhileyoutravel.com/live. Grab your seat right now while you're thinking about it. And we will meet very soon. It's been my pleasure to share with you. I'll be back next time. This has been Family Feud, but I'll be back next time for the next installment in our game show series. Until then, take care and be blessed.